Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
So today we are again on a new session for the Turnitin Educator Network. And today we have a very, very interesting topic, which is the role of authentic research in tackling global issues. And for that, we have a very esteemed guest who has thankfully agreed to provide his time to share his thoughts and inputs on this. He's Dr. Samray Ray. Dr. Ray is actually serving as the Dean and Head of International Relations at the International Institute of Management Studies, or IIMS Pune. A PhD in Economics and Management from St. Petersburg, Russia. Dr. Ray has worked under the Russian government in various advanced fields of neuromarketing, sensory marketing, behavioral economics, and big data innovations in the top 10 Russian research framework laboratories in Moscow. Additionally, he has completed 3 master's degrees with distinction from premier European and Indian universities in advanced management studies. He's a prolific author and researcher, having more than 50 Scopus Index publications in peer-reviewed journals from reputed publishers like Sage, Elsevier, Frontiers, and Hindwai, belonging to the Q1 segment. Dr. Ray has been the author of 6 international and national patents on innovation and marketing management from the USA, Australia, India, and Canada. He has served as a keynote speaker, conducted management development programs for various Fortune 500 companies in Europe and Dubai, and also has been a part of various course and training development programs for the Dubai Education Departments and the Russian Innovation and Education Forums. He has been the author of 2 books on machine learning and artificial intelligence. Moreover, he has also been involved with incubations at IIM Calcutta for strategy and policy making for new startups and provided consulting for new startup companies. Currently, he's ranked in the top 2% of global scientists and 47th in Russia in management sciences by the AD Science Research Index for Global Ranking 2023 for scientists. He has also been the recipient of various honors and prizes globally for his contribution to management sciences. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Ray, and thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was indeed a pleasure on this Monday morning to have so much accolades from you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's really interesting, you have such a varied background, and we are really looking forward to some wonderful thoughts from your end. So with that, we'll start with your first question, since our topic is the role of authentic research in tackling global issues. We would like to first understand, how would you describe authentic research, and what are the biggest challenges for researchers in this pursuit of authenticity in today's global scenario?
See, particularly speaking, authentic research actually dates back to a long, like centuries ago. Okay, we as Indians were the first proponent of authentic research, academic research. If we go through the Takshashila school of schools and Nalanda schools, we'll see that research was primarily the fourth of Indians. But we were somehow in the midst, through the colonialism, we lost the touch and we lost the flavor for doing pursuit of academic research. But after 1947, the pace of research was fostered through creation of academic institutions like ISI, IIT, and all these things, national institutions. But we were far behind the Western school of thoughts, where the United States, a lot of research was happening in the Silicon Valley, Bell Labs, and all these things. The proponent of entrepreneurial university and the research framework, which was guided by principles, in US, India was lacking because of some fundamental reasons, our changing thought process. But when you talk about authentic research, is that you have to come off from the narrow bindings of personal gratification and personal, egos and all these things as a scientific researcher, to think more holistically about global issues like climate change, poverty eradication, then the pressing issues of health, education, SDGs. So if you think that you need to do something very impactful for the society, for the marginalized, for the critical issues which govern our society, then I think research will be formed accordingly, and it will be authentic by itself. You don't have to work for authenticity, but research will be authentic. Yeah.
So wonderful. So I believe where you're coming from, and that's very relevant, I think, when we also talk about academic integrities, which is, of course, related to authenticity, that if the motivation is something at the higher level,
Right.
and it's not just how many research that I would need to publish and how many research I need
Right.
beside. I think that motivation only drives you to take that extra effort to ensure
True.
that
True.
there are no academic misconduct or research integrity related issues, and
True.
the research is actually able to fulfill its purpose. I mean, a bigger purpose that for which it is being conducted.
True.
So that's wonderful. So that kind of brings us to the next question. Now, how does this authentic research contribute to the development of evidence-based policies for addressing global challenges? And if possible, do provide some examples for our audience. That will be useful.
Yeah, you see, authentic research is the question itself is well defined to answer the same. That authentic research. If you do some research which can be impactful and create some global impact, like for some pressing issues, as I said, the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, laid out by World Bank long ago, which has been modified time to time according to the needs. So we will see that the world is going through a lot of changes, like disruptions every day, digital disruptions, which are having creating a lot of inequality also, and also inequality doesn't mean that it is a pressing issue for emerging countries like India, but it is also a very big concern for countries like US also, where inequality is a very pressing issue, and also the issue of climate change. You will see that global warming, the COP28, COP26, a lot of who's and prize are being made. Okay, so apart from that, the COVID-19, the health concerns, the education, creating equal education for all, especially the marginalized, how to tackle poverty eradication. These are the pressing issues. So if we do some targeted research, which can be, which can be fostered towards development of humanity, like human development and also the societal development. I'm not talking about CSR, but if it can be done in a holistic way, uh, keeping these triggers like poverty eradication, all these things, I think authentic research will be definitely a plus. Here there is the chances of, like, plagiarism and all these things, and also the academic means disintegration or discrimination can be also a very pressing issue, like proper citations, proper literature reviews, and all these things, which are very basic. But I'm talking about a very larger dimension when we are dealing with human sufferings. So these things, when you are catering to, then the research becomes more authentic, and if the research tends to follow some particular pro forma, which can be a trigger for future researchers, younger generations to follow. So from a very young age, people should be more aligned to the pressing issues governing the world nowadays. So yeah.
So wonderful. So any particular research that you can point out which has actually led to the formation of policies or similar policies?
See, most of the research, actually, what India lacks is that we are still, focused on elite schools, IITs, IIMS, and all these things. We are not taking research very seriously on a very national agenda, where smaller schools can also contribute to the growth of the nation. So, which is a very contrary to the Western school of thought, where most of the schools and universities are from a very younger age, like a ripe age also, they are more focused on qualitative research, more than quantity. like how many papers and all these things. This doesn't matter. Like they are more triggered by quality. Okay, so if in India we are more widespread and we think research in a very holistic way, then I think this authentic research pro forma, this thought process, thought leadership, academic leadership thought will change gradually.
True, that's true. And I think when you talk about that, I mean, we've also been hearing with AI coming into the forefront and a lot of discussions for and against, but a big concern that comes out of AI, and not only AI, similar such technological advances, which have actually been aiding education or aiding the learning process, also comes with the challenge of the digital divide that is so
Right,
relevant today in most of
right.
the underdeveloped countries today. So
True,
that's definitely another possibility that where
true,
our researchers can definitely
true,
think.
true.
Wonderful. So, since we kind of understood what could be those issues to work with, so in your opinion, what distinguishes authentic research from, say, other forms of information gathering, and why is this distinction important in the context of global problem solving? And this would be very useful for our, budding researchers.
Yeah, see, normal research is something which we do every day. Research is everywhere, like research is all around us. But when we do academic research, it needs to be authentic. Like it needs to create something value addition, create some, diversification, create some new idea which can be taken ahead by future researchers. When we define research in normal terms, okay, so it means that we are doing something new. We are not repetitive. We are not just copying or plagiarizing or something like that. That is not research. That is simply you can write a story also. There is also a difference between story writing and research, which many researchers, very researchers from very good institutions in India also, they falter because they write news rather than do some research or lay down some research. So it's a very big thing that you differentiate news writing from research. What type of research, what are the hypotheses, what are the integral triggers, what motivated you to do this research, what is the cause, what can bring effect for the global good, and also to pave the way for future researchers or academicians to refer to this particular research to provide some solution. Yeah.
Okay, that's insightful. So, now that we've spoken about that, ideally research should be more focused and more in-depth than probably just taking information and processing them, and well, rather what you refer to as presenting news. Now, in the face of these, say, rapidly evolving global issues, how can researchers adapt their methodologies to stay relevant and effective in their pursuit of authentic research? So what will be your advice to researchers towards ensuring the authenticity and reliability of their research work? And it will be really helpful if you could specify those steps or the specific methodologies and how those need to kind of probably evolve, or I would say fine tune. They would probably not change, but maybe fine tune to ensure that they're able to stick to the authenticity and not, coming up with something that may not be so relevant.
Yeah, so basically, I have devised 3 plus 2 formula, the 3D plus 2I formula for global research. Like 3D means diversity, disruption, and digital transformation, and 2I means innovation and inclusion. So if you see these 5 triggers, these are very important, and these are changing the way we are doing research every day. Now you see the introduction of GPT, Chat GPT, AI, and all these things, generative AI, which are changing the landscape of research. But it's very true that these softwares can be used for global good also, rather than neglecting them and bypassing them, because they can create hyper plagiarism also. But we can use chat gpt also to modify our results, modify our literature and all these things while conducting research. It doesn't mean that we have to directly instruct chat gpt to write our research. We have to embrace technology in an ethical way And I told you that main focus is to bring impact to the global society, the global triggers, poverty eradication, all these things. So if you are for focused researcher, you don't have to think about these pretty small things like paganism or something like that through chat gpt. You can use whatever resources available in a diversified form like diversity, and include your research in that way. And when we are talking about the two eyes innovation, we are talking about open innovation. Like chat gpt can sometimes become open, but we have to use these technologies for a higher good with an inclusion mindset. Like how we can better include some negativity which are pouring into the society because of digital transformation, like AI ethics. We are talking about the ethics behind AI. So how ethically we are transforming the way we do research day by day by increasing the digital platform and utilizing the best possible resources available, again to hit the target impactful research for the global community.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. And since you spoke about technology and how technology can be leveraged, I believe even the kind of services that Turnitin provides when it comes to, well, we are typically providing the similarity report or AI detector, but then even the similarity report has a lot of information to share with the reviewer or with the researcher who is seeing it in terms of looking at the credibility of the sources. So I think those technologies also could assist in this pursuit of authentic research. So the recent AI detector that has come in to ensure that we are able to distinguish between the one that has done some authentic work vis-a-vis someone that has probably picked up data from tools which were probably not so valid when it comes to the authenticity or the impact of the research. So what would be your view on that?
Yeah, so if we are talking about again the same thing, I would point out that ethical issues are a very big issues. So Turnitin definitely plays a very important role. We are very much like there is no unparalleled thing like we cannot neglect this Turnitin software, because it's very important for an authentic researcher also to know that where he is lagging through, by getting direct copies or something like that, neglect violating some copyright issues. Like if we go to very premier journals like Nature or something like that, we will see that the research quote downs to a very high level of authenticity. Okay, the plagiarism level should be very low, very low, very low. Okay, so in that case, the scheming process which Turnitin follows is world class, and I think we researchers. I was in Russia, Europe also, and I was in Germany also. I have been following the Turnitin growth also, and it's quite commendable, and it's a integral part of doing research. So I don't have to speak words more to define its utilization, but yeah, definitely the changing times of AI needs more thorough and projected softwares like that.
Wonderful. I think those were very useful insights shared. We'll definitely motivate our budding researchers, and hopefully together with guides like you and other researchers across the globe, the educators, and of course the kind of services that we provide when it comes to guiding in terms of authenticity and originality of the work. Definitely together we can make the impact that we're looking for. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.